Hey guys! So about a week ago, someone left me a message on Goodreads asking if I could share with them my favorite books, and I thought, what a great idea! I haven't done one since 2011. I did 2 videos, one on my favorite contemporary romances and then one on my favorite paranormal romances. It's been 4 years since I've done that video. I have read quite a few books in between then. A lot has changed, so that video's content is definitely going to be different from this one's. However, since I have read a bunch of different genre books and I want to share with you what they are and don't have enough time, I thought I would split them up into parts. So today's video, from the title you could probably tell, is going to be young adult. Now before you watch these videos, you might want to know I'm a huge lover of romance novels, and that's pretty much all I read. I mean, I've read a few books that aren't romance novels in between, but that is pretty much all I read. I am planning to do a miscellaneous in the end, except I don't know if I can think of the other books that I have read that aren't romance novels apart from the 2 favorites that I have on the list right now. So I had to rely on my Goodreads list of books that I read to come up with the books that I have here. I mean, I obviously remember my favorites, but I just had to reinforce that I got through all the books and I wasn't leaving anything out. Before I list out my all-time favorite books in the genre of young adult contemporary, I thought I'd list out for you my 3 favorite authors in that genre. Katie McGarry wrote the Pushing the Limit series, and I'm gonna be left speechless throughout this whole entire video because I loved those books. It was a mixture of like emotion with substance, yet romance. It wasn't wholesome, it wasn't very neat, it was messy, but it was so good. I don't know how to describe it. I haven't read the first one since it first came out. I remember also buying the first book at Barnes & Noble, and I think there are 4 out now. I hope there's another one coming out. I just really freaking love those books, and she's great at storytelling. I don't know if her writing is anything unique, I can't remember, but I just love that series. She is one of my auto-buy authors, top 3. If you don't know what an auto-buy author is, it's when the author of your favorite comes out with a book and you just buy it immediately. You don't even read the synopsis, you don't care what the damn book is about, you just gotta go buy it because you want it and you love that author. Another one of my top 3 / auto-buy authors for me is Simone Elkeles. The Perfect Chemistry trilogy. Oh, I love that trilogy. It is another one of those messy, like, bad boy meets good girl, and oh my goodness, I haven't read that in a while. However, I shouldn't say trilogy because I didn't read the 3rd one. I didn't really enjoy the like beginning part of it. Like, I didn't even read that far into it, but I also didn't really like the synopsis, which is a shame because now I've been claiming that I love that whole trilogy, but I haven't actually finished it. But she did come out with another book that I really did enjoy, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it was called. It was like about football. I remember that much though, and I gave that a 5 out of 5 stars. Simone Elkeles is another auto-buy author of mine. Whatever book she has out, I will buy it, except the book she had out previously before Perfect Chemistry, I don't really find that interesting and I never went to go pick them up. However, anything recent that she comes out with, you bet your ass I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna really regret saying these things when I'm in editing because I'm gonna just be like cringing. Then my 3rd favorite auto-buy author is Stephanie Perkins. I have like bad vision and I'm trying to read these off my laptop. Anna and the French Kiss. I fucking love that book. And I've always wanted to go to Europe, but I want to go to Paris. I want to go anywhere. I've been in the US for quite too long. Fabulous book. I also read Lola and the Boy Next Door, and I didn't love it as much as Anna and the French Kiss, but I still enjoyed it. And I have Isla and the Happily Ever After. I just haven't had the time to read it yet, or haven't gotten around to reading it yet. But I will, and I'll let you know how I feel about that. So with my 3 auto-buy authors in the YA contemporary romance genre being said, that was a really mouthful of a genre right there. I'm going to now list a few of the other books that I really like. And as always, I'm going to be leaving the Goodreads link to each of these books down below because there is no way in hell I can do a synopsis on any of these. I am really bad at giving anything a description. I can't articulate what's going on in my mind to coming out of my mouth. It just doesn't work like that. Keep in mind, I have read a lot of contemporary romance novels that I have given 5 out of 5 stars to, but they did not make it into my favorites because I'm slouching because I really, really love these books, okay? I remember loving them. I remember feeling it when I read these books. So not all the books I've ever given 5 out of 5 stars have made it onto this list. So just know that I really like these books. 2 books by Cody Keplinger that I really, really love are Midsummer's Nightmare and The Duff. The Duff I read first, I think. I can't even remember. The Duff is being turned into a movie though. I'm not about that. I was invited to a screening of that movie and I didn't go just because I don't know, I don't like the format of it and I don't like the vibe, and I didn't imagine that when I was reading the book. I just don't imagine the book as cheesy in my head as it seems in the movie, which, to be honest, my roommates went to the screening and they said they loved it. They had never read the book, but they said that it was cheesy, but they really enjoyed it. So if it comes out on Netflix, I'll watch the movie, but I'm not going to go pay to see it, even though the screenings are free. So this next one, if you have been watching my videos since 2011, when I first started my channel, you'll know that Two-Way Street by Lauren Barnholt has been my first favorite book ever. Like, it was the first book I ever said, this is my favorite book. It's my all-time favorite book. And then after I read, you know, Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins, I had 2 all-time favorite books. But then I continued reading and reading and reading, and I had just so many, and now you're hearing the list. I've reread that book about 5 times now. I've read it a total of 6, I think. I don't love it as much now rereading it, and I don't think I'm ever going to be able to reread it again just because I've read it so many times. But when I first read it, I loved it, and I convinced a few of my other friends to read it, and they really loved it too. So it was a great contemporary romance. Next one is The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. That trilogy just kind of like tossed my heart around, especially since I read this when I was like in middle school-ish. I was in like high school, I think. I read that in the transition, I think, from my 8th grade year to my freshman year. And I just loved that trilogy. So I would highly recommend it if you want like a slow, not slow, but like simple, easy summer read. It was a great just beach read. Another book I remember really enjoying that I have to reread to see if I still do, but I just wanted to mention, was Forget You by Jennifer Elkeles. I'm not too sure if I like still absolutely love it. It's just one I thought was worth mentioning because I really did enjoy it when I read it. Like, I loved it a lot, and I kept thinking about it for days after, but now I completely forgot a lot about what it was because from the synopsis I had such low expectations, but when I read it, it was just awesome. I kind of threw this in the middle of the list because everyone always says it, but I'm not going to not mention it, and that's The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I loved it for all the same reasons everyone else did, so I have nothing else different to add. And then the last one that I wanted to mention was My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick. I read this, I think, in 2012. In fact, I'm almost positive I read it in 2012 because that's when I went to the Philippines the last time, and I think that was 2 years ago. I don't know what it was about that book. It's a great summer read. I loved the simplicity of the book, but yet her life just kind of was not very happy until she meets this guy. And I know that a lot of you guys who aren't, you know, romantics, or not just romantics, but people who love romance, I know that you guys are probably like cringing at like, oh, she meets a guy and then everything goes well. You know, sometimes that's just how it happens. And so her life kind of sucks, and then she meets Garrett, one of the Garrett boys. Is that their last name? I don't know if that's his first name. But then she also meets his whole family, and I loved the connection and the relationships and the romance and the whole story. It was a great summer read, and I'd highly recommend it. And obviously, I'd highly recommend all these. And those were all the books that I had to share with you. And if my neighbors were listening to me talk, I'm sure they think I'm so weird. I'm not sure what the next genre will be, but I already have the list of all the books, so it's just gonna come down to when I'm gonna have time to film them. And it depends on how this video goes when I go to edit. If I think that I sound way too repetitive and I can't upload it, then you won't see this video. But if you're watching it now, stay tuned for another one. Until next time, guys, have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye! Ugh. What was a stellar way to get up.